and Ayana, and the two of them, there they are. I don't think there's any love lost between these two. Ayana completely destroying Dibaba, who herself completely destroyed the field in the 1500 meters. 1:57, inside 1:57 for the last 800 in the final of that event. Incredible. And of course, the world record that she ran at 1500 meters in Monaco just before Beijing set her up so well. 3:50. So how quick can she go at 3,000 meters? Well, the last 3,000 meters of the final in Beijing of the 5,000 meters was running 8:19.9 by this young lady here, Almaz Ayana. And only the Chinese athletes back in 1993, 4 of them have ever run quicker than that. And that was in a straight 3,000 meter race, of course. Vivian Chariot herself, now with 4 world titles at 5 and 10,000 meters. I doubt she'll be able to live with the sort of pace that we're being led to believe will be chased by Ayana and Dibaba tonight. And will it put them close to the world record? Well, I talked about those Chinese athletes. The world record still stands to Yongxie Wang of 8 minutes 6.11. Pace through the first 1500 meters tonight to be set at around 4 minutes and 7. But what happens after that? Will the two of them race each other? Will they take it on? We're going to find out. 7.5 laps of the track, of course, and the two of them side by side. Haven't started particularly quickly. Wafula and Police herself, of course, a world-class 1500 meter runner, will be asked to set this quick pace. Mouth-watering prospect, Tim. I just hope that we get a good race between these two. They've got to be tired. That 5,000 meters the other day was absolutely incredible.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Steve. What we want is a great race. We shouldn't really be focusing too much upon the time, as long as we see them knocking chunks out of each other, so to speak, over the last lap or two. But they have gone with it. I'm interested to see here, too, how the Americans go. Jenny Simpson and Shannon Robury, 1500 meter runners in Beijing. This is a long way for them, although they are very competent exponents of this. But Ayana being dogged there by Dibaba, right on her coattails. And Dibaba, I think, this time would not make the mistake she made in Beijing. Ayana has got to be confident, though.
Not particularly quick through the first 400, but the others have sat off this, maybe frightened by those two, but they seem to have picked it up a little bit. Around 68 seconds, I think, through the first 400. The clock didn't stop there, but a long way back, a good 15-20 meters back already. The rest of the field led by Teferi. We've been given, oddly enough, a 500 meters split through 600 meters. They're getting every 100 meters on this now. So Tim, it's a good pace. They picked it up a slow first sort of 200, and I think it was really just to see whether or not the big two names went with it. It was good to see them latch onto it. So I think we're in for a really good race here. The pace will be good. It'll be sub 8:20 pace. And these two, of course, in a straight-off race have not run that quick. Certainly not outdoors. Dibaba has done that indoors. And I think Dibaba will want revenge here tonight, don't you, for what Ayana did to her?
Absolutely. She's a proud athlete. She probably felt a bit humiliated last week by being destroyed so comprehensively by Ayana. They're only moving at around 8:30 pace at the moment, 68 and then 2:16.5 at 800 meters. It's not quick. But 8:30, we tend to talk about 8:30 being not that quick. Of course, for other athletes, for mortals, it is quick, and that's why there's that gap, what, about 20 meters back to the pack.
Vivian Chariot now leading the chase pack with Teferi. Jenny Simpson there, could be what, also Mercy Chirono just behind her, just moving up a little bit. So Renata Police out in front, the Polish athlete doing a good job here, trying to keep this pace going.
Kyriakopoulou then.
Well, Police took them through the first 1500 in 4:13, much slower than what was asked for, and then as soon as she did that, Ayana put her foot down. So the pace picking up all the time. They'd had a couple of 66 laps, so that 200 there was certainly much quicker. So Ayana with 3 laps to go, less than 3 laps to go, with Dibaba sitting on her shoulder, and you've got to say, I'm not sure she can hurt Dibaba long enough at this sort of pace. She's got to be quicker than that. When you know that Dibaba ran closed in under 1:57 in that 1500 meters, it'll be a big last couple of laps, I'm sure, here. But I cannot see Ayana breaking Dibaba this time.
Well, you say that, Steve. Dibaba's certainly working here. They go through 2005-35 at 2:45 there. So they're on 8:15 tempo with that middle kilometre. Ayana glancing up. She's just got to tell herself now, like all front runners from a long way out, that you are hurting those behind you. You can't turn around and glance into their eyes. You can't really see the damage you're doing. You've just got to have the confidence you're doing it. Dibaba, such a beautiful looking runner that even when she's under pressure, she looks smooth, but she's staying so close. She's almost clipping the heels of Ayana here. And I think she doesn't want that sort of psychological connection, that physical connection between the pair of them to break. But Ayana has got to really push hard. This lap is critical for the leader.
What these two can do, forget the split so far, they can close so quickly. I think they're going to be heading for a time under 8:20 here. Ayana trying to push on. Dibaba, for me, still looking fairly comfortable. And she knows that as they approach 600 metres to go, very much moving into her territory. Ayana looked up at the screen as well, and despite her best efforts, cannot shake off Genzebe Dibaba. 600 metres to go. The two Ethiopians are about 80 metres ahead of the rest of the field. As they come round this time into the home straight for the penultimate time, Dibaba must be eyeing that bell. That was a slower lap there, and Ayana just slowing down here. Now Dibaba just biding her time. I said they could run under 8:20. But it'll have to be a big last lap, but Dibaba certainly capable of it. The bell, Tim, and around 7, what's it going to be, 16, 17.
Well, Dibaba needs the last lap of about 62 seconds, or Ayana for that matter, if they want to get under 8:20 off a fairly slow first kilometre, that 2:49. That's not bad going. That 2:49.9. It was only 8:30 that first kilometre. But Dibaba, if she's going to go, is biding her time. It's almost sadistic.
And Ayana responds as Dibaba tries to go past. That will have surprised Ayana. Still got something, and look at the change of pace. She sucked Dibaba in the sense that she went slower on that penultimate lap, and Dibaba, for me, is giving up. This is a little bit like what happened in Beijing. And Ayana, despite what everybody, including myself, would have thought, closing much quicker than Dibaba. It's not going to be super fast, but Ayana too strong. And look at Dibaba, nothing left at all. This is not the athlete we saw in the 1500 metres, and it's Ayana doing exactly what she did in the 5000 metres. It's not going to be inside 8:20, but she is going to get the win, and she stays as the #1 ranked Ethiopian at above 1500 metres for me. 8:22, it's a new meeting record. It's just a little bit slower than she ran in Rabat earlier on in the year for this distance, and a 64.6 last lap. And Tim, a 68 and then a 64 for the last two laps. That's not too impressive from Dibaba, and indeed her last lap would have been about a 66-second last lap. So Ayana, much to everybody's surprise, coming away with a win in a race that was run outside 8:20, and I think if you would have said that before, Dibaba sitting on her shoulder with 2 laps to go looked so comfortable and so ready to take on Ayana. No love lost between these two. Shake of the hand from Teferi. But Dibaba, well, there they go, a little bit of a hug in the end there. Ethiopia, so dominant, but goodness me, Ayana has come on so much this year. What a future she's got.
Well, Ayana, you know, doesn't even have a personal best for 1500 metres. And yet she has blown away Dibaba there. Huge surprise to when you got into Dibaba's territory, that last 300, I think everybody who had witnessed Dibaba's form this last few weeks would have expected her to ease past Ayana. But certainly Ayana can go a long way under 4 minutes for 1500 metres herself. That's very clear. And this was the crucial moment where Dibaba thought she could change gear and move onto the shoulder of Ayana, who I don't know whether she was trying to trick Dibaba or whatever, but it worked. She was certainly eased, Steve, that sort of 200 metres either side of the bell, and going to the back straight, I thought, well, she's there for the picking.
I agree. I'm a little nonplussed as to how Dibaba, how can you run 156.9 at the end of a 1500 metres, 10 days ago?
Or 350.
And then 350, whatever it was, 4 weeks ago, and you can't close. Of course they're tired. They both must be tired by